meant for you may not always be meant for everybody else. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Star Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to hold yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss why your life and why your journey is different, as well as for you to not compare yourself to people, places, and things, some recommendations, some reminders, and just certain things that you should be aware of, aka disclaimers. Starting off with the topic, starting off with the intro, starting off with the disclaimer. What may make sense to you may not make sense to everybody else. And the reason being is because you are individual. You are one of one. Put that in the comment section starting off. You are one of one. So because you are uniquely designed to be you specifically, what you see other people do doesn't always have to resonate with you and vice versa. What you do, it may not resonate with other people. And the reason why this is the first disclaimer is because a lot of times people are comparing themselves to people, places, and things. People subconsciously, consciously, physically, and emotionally are hard on themselves based off of what they were taught, based off of what they were shown, whether it was from their family, their friends, communities, coworkers, etc. And a lot of times when you have been programmed or taught or trained to think a certain type of way, it can hinder your belief system. This can affect your level of confidence. Like, this can cause you to have insecurities. It can cause you to have doubt. This can cause you to have low self-esteem. So instead of having low self-esteem, just accepting that you are allowed to think for yourself. You are an individual, and that if you want to do something, you will. And if you don't, you're not a bad person. It doesn't make you less than. So the second disclaimer is similar to the first one, which is not comparing yourself to people. You could see people, you can think they're, inspirational, you can consider them to be admirable, but you're not doing exactly what they're doing the way that they did it. So you could see people buy a house, you could see people go to school, you could see people start a business, you could see people lose weight, you could see people in healthy relationships, you could see people buy the cars that you want. Just because they've done it doesn't mean that you're going to have the same outcome of how they got there or what they did to receive the things that they want. You can have the goal, which you have in common, which are the similarities, which should motivate you and the inspiration within itself, but trying to compare yourself to people who may have certain resources like education and finance and knowledge and technology to where you didn't have is doing yourself a disservice. You cannot compare your life to anybody's, because at the end of the day, nobody is you. Even if people grew up in your community or in your neighborhood, you all have different paths. Like, so many people think that just because they grew up around certain people, like family and friends and coworkers and classmates, that you all have to be doing the same thing. It's okay. As long as it makes sense to you, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And that's going to be the third thing. When you are living your life, you have to do what you like. You should never have to feel forced or obligated to do certain things or be around certain people, places, and things, because at the end of the day, you're only going to hinder yourself. When you are not genuine, when you're not authentic, when you're not showing up as who you are, you're the only person who's going to block your blessing. You're the only person who is going to limit yourself. And the goal of this video is to not limit ourselves, compare ourselves, but to do what we want to do because you want to. And that's the fourth disclaimer. You should have your own desires. You should genuinely be passionate and concerned and have interest in the things that you want to be or receive. If you're not interested in something, you don't have to be. This doesn't make you less qualified. This doesn't make you less literate. This does not make you less of a person. Like, this does not make you inadequate. If you're around people and places and things and they try to seem uppity or turn their nose or make it seem like they're better than you because they have certain things or they've done certain things, those are not the people for you. And the best thing that you can do is just remove yourself from them. You need people, and this is the fifth final disclaimer, around you who can accept you for who you are, who can pour into you. Because if you haven't learned how to thought for yourself or think for yourself, and you are not somebody who is strong mentally, like you're easily influenced, You need people around you who are willing to accept you. You're not always going to agree with people. People are not always going to agree with you. But if people are meant to be a part of your life and they're contributing into your life in a healthy and positive, productive way, they're going to do that. They're going to be patient with you when you guys have differences. They're going to accept you without judging you or shaming you or making you feel bad or trying to humiliate you. When people go out their way to try to humiliate you or embarrass you, they're not for you. You need to remove them. So now, getting into the recommendations, when it comes to you doing things that work for you, you need to figure out who you are. And of course, this step requires time, energy, and patience, and most importantly, self-reflection. You don't have to rush, but in your notes and in the comment section, I need you to put your name on the notes and in the comment section and define who you are. If you can't define who you are, that's your challenge for this video. Figure out who are you and elaborate. I need you to write down what you like. I need you to figure out what you don't like. I need you to figure out what you're good at. And I need you to figure out where you're bad at. That's a start. The simple reason why it's a start is because you need a sense of direction. If you feel like you don't have any purpose in life, you need to start with yourself. You don't need to be worrying about getting degrees and getting jobs and doing all these external things that will help you if you're not even secure in yourself. The second recommendation when embracing and doing things how you want to is being confident in it. Stand on it. Grow a backbone. As your favorite mental health specialist, who's really your favorite rich auntie, our backs are strong. Not big, if you thought I was going to say that, but they're strong. Like, we have a backbone. What I like, what I stand for, it doesn't have to make sense to certain people, places, and things. Me talking about positivity and healing and just my existence and what I like, it's not everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. I'm not asking people to agree, and nobody's telling them to be here. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Stand on what you like. If you like something and everybody else doesn't like it, okay, it is what it is. Like, people are going to have differences. Now, the only thing that I don't encourage or condone is hurting yourself, harming yourself, and harming others. But if you, let's just say, like the favorite color to be purple and somebody else's favorite color is red, you guys just like two different colors. Like, it does not have to be complicated or more than what it needs to be. Like, it's okay if you think, like I said, as long as it's not hurting and harming people. If you like to eat burgers instead of pizza, that's your preference. Like, having preferences should not cause harm. If your preference is causing harm, I'm going to side on you. But it's like, you're allowed to think what you want to think. Like, certain people, places, and things I've outgrown because we didn't have similarities. We weren't connected. We weren't on the same frequency when it comes to life. It didn't make me better than them. It didn't make them less than. It's just, some things are not for everybody. But it's just like, if you like something, you're allowed to believe in it. You're allowed to stand on it, and you don't have to change. Like, earlier today, I was scrolling on my TikTok and I got a comment that was not in alignment with my post. So instead of me going back and forth with this young person, because obviously I know they were a young person, I just decided to say, you know what? My message is not for you. And I left it at that. If you know something doesn't align with you and you're not trying to understand the perspective or why the person said what they said, you don't have to agree. Like, and I would make that into a separate video and I will die on the hill talking about that. I don't know why people feel like they have to speak on things that don't resonate with them, because it's not healthy. Like, when you speak on people and places and things that are not in alignment with you, and you know you disagree and you're not willing to change your mind, you're not willing to understand, it doesn't change what they said. So if my messages don't resonate with you, writing paragraphs and disagreeing, you feel how you feel, I feel how I feel, and guess what? I'm going to stand on it. Like, you can't be easily manipulated. And that's the thing. When you don't know how to think for yourself and you don't stand on what you say, people will try to convince you, gaslight you, manipulate you. It's childish, it's immature, and it doesn't work. We're allowed to have our beliefs. We're going to stand on them. You either agree or you don't. And if you want to disagree and you want to know why, okay, cool, we'll have a conversation. But if someone's already made up in their mind about something, and that's the same thing with you. If you already made up in your mind about how you want to feel about something, stand on it. Now, of course, when you stand on what you say and do, it comes with consequences. So don't just be out here yapping. Don't just be out here talking if you can't, if you can't chew what you dig, if you can't bite what you cooked, if you can't dig what you dug, if you can't, reap what you sowed. So the fourth recommendation when it comes to you just being you and doing what makes sense to you, is just embracing your personality. Like, so many people are so quick to call people weird for having preferences or liking certain things. Like, an example, I know people who like anime. Let me know if you like anime. I personally do not like anime. But just because I don't like anime, I'm not going to call somebody a nerd. I'm not going to call somebody weird. Like, what does somebody liking a certain type of entertainment or style of genre make them weird? That's like people who watch Harry Potter. I never watched Harry Potter because I thought those movies were like super duper long, and when they did come on, it would be like 3 or 4 o'clock, but it was like hours. I never watched it. This doesn't mean that just because I don't watch something doesn't mean that the people who watch it are considered to be nerdy. Like, some of you all are so judgmental, but it's just like these same people who judge people, they be having stuff that they like, but if someone doesn't agree with them and they call them weird, it's like, I don't like people who throw rocks and then hide their hands. So it's just like what you like. If people don't like it, okay, that's cool. Like I said, you're not always gonna agree all the time, but the people that are for you are going to respect it. And that's the 4th recommendation. If I didn't already say that, I lost count. 4th recommendation, like I said, is just surrounding yourself with a community who can embrace you. Surrounding yourself with people who may not understand but are willing to stand by you. Like, it's really important that when you're figuring out who you are and what it is that you like and you're taking your time, you're not around people who make you feel like, oh, you should have did this or you should have done that. Like, people judge people and not realize their resources. How could somebody do more if they weren't given certain things? And not just that, even if people had the resources and the help, people have to want to make decisions for themselves. A lot of people are afraid to make decisions because they didn't have certain resources and certain tools, or because they don't know any better, or sometimes they don't want to. At the end of the day, the best thing you can do is not judge people if you're not going to help them, and just allow people to do what makes sense to them. I'm going to do what makes sense to me. You're going to continue to do what makes sense to you. So lastly, when it comes to just accepting the fact that you're different and not like anybody else, is, like I said, to just live your best life. Live your best life. Do what makes you happy. If other people are offended, they're not for you. And you just got to know that when you do things differently, you may think that you are being like isolated, or you're being separated, or you're being punished. You're not. You just have to realize that when you're a trendsetter, when you're a leader, when you're meant to start and ride the wave, what you do is going to be unfamiliar. So for example, if everyone, like I said, let's just say favorite color is 5 people and everyone's favorite color is red, and you're the 6th person amongst the 5 and your favorite color is purple, you telling them that you like the color purple versus these people who have been conditioned and brainwashed and installed and programmed to think all about the color red is going to throw them off. It's going to be unfamiliar. So don't limit yourself just because you're doing things that other people are not used to or unfamiliar with. Like, if they're meant to catch on, they will. If not, do what makes sense to you. So with that being said, I'm going to end off this video because I have so many other videos that I need to post. And I don't know if you guys just heard, my laundry in the background is done. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Head to my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm going live for the rest of the month of November talking about this. Book your service in your session. If you need a one-on-one chit chat, get ready with me, get ready with you, get to know me, get to know you type of vibes. And you just need more questions and concerns, as well as let me know what resonates with you, your challenge, what you think of yourself, what you thought about this video. And yeah, just stay tuned. Thank you guys for always liking. Thank you for turning on your post notifications. And most importantly, thank you for subscribing. But just know you're different. You're not like everybody else. It doesn't have to make sense, And most importantly, once you peep that what you want to do is unfamiliar and people are not wanting to support you, don't continue to surround yourself with them. Create distance, create boundaries, and stop conversing with them. If you say, I want to move to a different country and everyone lives in the same country and they're like, oh, that's impossible, don't allow their fears or the projections or the limitations block what you want. Because if you can think it, you can feel it. And if you can feel it, you can experience it. Okay? Love you. Bye.